Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am taking you through a clean my entire house with me. I am in desperate need of like a deep clean, deep organization. So I'm gonna be taking you through my entire week of cleaning, getting into the nitty gritty of my house and massively like deep cleaning. It's gonna be so satisfying, so fun. Very excited, so let's get into it. So today I started off in the bedroom, and first thing I did was change the sheets so that I could get the other sheets in the laundry. I like to do this first thing. I actually had to wash the comforter too. I ended up not washing it just because I didn't have enough time to, and honestly it wasn't that dirty. I just figured I would do it all at once, but you'll see here that I did not put a comforter on the bed because I thought I was going to be washing the comforter, but I ended up not doing that. I am kind of a weirdo, and I like to have my like fuzzy blanket in between me and the fitted sheet. So I always do basically the fitted sheet, my fuzzy blanket, and then the loose sheet. And then it was time to get into some laundry. So I had a ton of laundry that needed to be folded. So I got started on that. This took probably like 45 minutes. It was a lot of laundry, but I felt so much better once I got it all done, and it made a big difference. I think if you can get like laundry done first thing as well, it just makes it so much easier to do a lot of other deep cleaning because you're always kind of moving around the laundry, moving it in different places. It's getting wrinkled. So I was just glad I got this out of the way first, and this was definitely my eat the frog task because I hate folding laundry. Okay, next up it was time for me to get all of the clutter out of my room. My room definitely is a catch-all, or upstairs doesn't really have any other space other than a small landing and hallway and then the bedroom. So my room definitely is like the biggest space where, you know, there's like free space. So it definitely becomes a catch-all. So I kind of just spent this time getting all of the books, toys, trash, clothes out of my room and putting them in the rooms they belong. I wasn't super tedious about putting everything exactly where it belonged, just getting it out of my room and into the proper room that it belonged in so that I could kind of keep focused on this space and get this space done first. My vanity and my nightstand are also a place that gets really dirty and just messy. I feel like it's definitely a spot where I'll just kind of drop things. I honestly don't use my vanity for doing my makeup very often, mainly because my kids get into the drawers and there's not really a great way to secure the drawers, but I will use this to put my jewelry on. I'll sometimes use this as a desk area. It's really cute, and it's nice having this space, especially if I do want to do like, you know, something like actually like a full makeup look or something where I am going to sit down and do it. But I like having it in front of the window as well because I get a lot of natural light. But this space gets really dirty and dusty and just a lot of fingerprints and stuff like that. So I want to just make this corner a little bit nicer. I've also got this rocking chair in here that I had in one of the girls' rooms when they were a baby and still needed to be rocked. But I moved it into this room now, and I really like having that there, especially because we can like sit in there and, you know, watch TV, and it's just nice to have a different spot. I also wanted to switch out this photo because I have literally not put any family photos up, so I decided to switch this out real quick while I was at it. And then it was time to wipe down my vanity. I noticed when I was wiping it down, kind of getting all the fingerprints off of it, it still had a lot of like hair and lint, so use this like microfiber cloth, and that seemed to do the trick. And then I jumped over to this bookshelf. We've had this bookshelf since we first got married, and honestly, I really like it. The only thing is I definitely think it needs like to be minimal in order to look nice. I definitely don't like having it really chock full of books. It honestly would look really pretty if I did one of those like rainbow book things, but I don't have enough books to do that, honestly, and definitely not enough time to do that. So I just kind of minimized things today to make it look a little nicer. Also, there were like coffee rings and things like that that just needed to be cleaned up. So that was kind of my focus, and also just kind of dusting, getting the dirt and grime off of it. Okay, now for the super satisfying part. This was underneath the bookshelf. It was so dusty and had dirt and hair, and so I took my little shop vac and just cleaned under there. And this, yeah, it was honestly kind of gross. And I feel like anytime there's a lot of like dirt and things like that as well, I also noticed that we'll get sick a lot more often. There's just a lot more allergens in the air, so it was really nice getting it all clean under there. Okay, next up it was time to do the dresser. This is another place that just becomes kind of a clutter collector. So I just took a minute to kind of take everything off that didn't belong there. And I did end up taking kind of everything off so I could dust it really good because I noticed it was pretty dusty. Had a lot of coffee rings and things like that, just things that didn't belong there. So I really, took the time to just kind of dust it really well. And the front had gotten pretty dirty as well because my kids, use it and play on it and use it to kind of learn to walk and stuff. So had a lot of fingerprints. My oldest has been playing with a lot of chalk lately, so she had kind of colored on the front with chalk. So just took the time to kind of wipe this down and have it look a little bit more fresh and clean. Okay, next up, it was time to do our office corners. So we have our desk in our bedroom because, like I said, our room is the biggest room in the house and it has a lot of dead space, so it just makes sense having the desk in here versus having a whole room dedicated to the office. At some point, we probably will turn the nursery back into an office once the girls share a room, but for now, this has been fine. It just needs to stay minimal and clutter-free, so I just took the time to kind of put everything away, clear off the space, and just make it as minimal and clean and empty as possible. And then it was time to get into some shredding. I hate shredding almost as much as I hate laundry. In fact, maybe more. And so I took the time just to get through all of the shredding that needed to be done and organize the stuff, like the paper stuff that needed to be organized. And this was so satisfying. I could not believe how much shred I had to do.
Look at all that shred. Good morning, guys. So it is the next day and I am starting on the downstairs. So I got my room really clean yesterday, which was so nice. It felt so good going upstairs yesterday and having my bedroom all clean. But today I am working on, I didn't get everything done upstairs. So like I still have a lot to do upstairs, like the girls' rooms, but I have to kind of do it when they're like playing down here or somebody's watching them. So I am saving that for later, but now I'm doing downstairs, and the downstairs we pick up like every single day, but it always is like messy every single day. So it looks really bad right now, but this is about the state it gets into every single day, and we somehow always manage to clean it up. So I'm gonna show you guys, a little vulnerable because it looks really, really bad. Let's get into it. I think I'm gonna do a tidy of the living room for, well, maybe actually, I think I'll do the dishes first so that at least I can get going because I just made breakfast. The sink is full of dishes. I'm also trying to make some bacon because Daniel's gonna be home pretty soon. So I fed the girls, I had breakfast, and now I need to kind of like get some dishes going so that I can do some other things while the dishes are going.
So starting off with the kitchen, I had to first empty the dishwasher. I've been kind of bad lately about letting the dishes kind of pile up in the sink, so I wanted to get some loads started. I had to do multiple loads this day because the dishes were kind of overwhelming. So started by emptying the dishwasher and then getting another load started. I also tidied up. It was just kind of, you know, one of those days where the kitchen just had a lot of stuff on the counters, things that just need to be put away. And so I just took a minute to kind of put everything away quickly. Honestly, the kitchen I can get done pretty quickly, but I definitely need to do a deep organization of my kitchen. I have kind of had things in spots that don't really make sense. I didn't have time to do it during this video, but I definitely want to do that at some point, get my kitchen kind of reorganized and in just like a better function. We've gotten some new pieces, like new silverware, things like that. So there's just some stuff that needs to be decluttered and just reorganized to be a little bit more functional for us. So this is what I did. I just kind of like put everything back where it belonged, put the dishes in the sink so that I could wipe down the counters and kind of keep moving on this process. I reloaded the dishwasher so that, again, another load was running. But like I said, you can see the dishes are like pretty overwhelming. This took multiple loads to get all of this done. We just put in new countertops, so we now have butcher block countertops. We used to have these really ugly tile countertops that came with the house, and my amazing father-in-law just put these in for us just a few months ago, and I absolutely love them. I feel like they're very easy to care for. I do try to be careful, especially when like scraping food off and stuff, so like you can see I use like a little spoon just to make sure I didn't scrape the wood, because it is just wood. So most of the time a scrub daddy will do the trick, but I had some like sourdough starter that had like hardened on, which if you know, you know, it's like very hard to get off. So I used a spoon for that, but for the most part, I just use like a multi-purpose cleaner, and I just try to get these really, really clean. I never put like raw meat or anything on the counters because obviously, you know, they can be, you know, you shouldn't really put raw meat on any counter, but especially wood. So I always make sure to use a cutting board, but for the most part, we love, you know, these, and I feel like they're so much easier to clean than my other counters were. After this, it was time to jump into the dining room. Daniel actually just replaced our tabletop with a brand new tabletop, and he stained it this dark color. It used to be a light color, kind of like the countertops, and we just absolutely love it. It just, I feel like it makes the room look bigger somehow. I don't really know how that is, but it does, and it just looks really classy. I love it. This spot is another piece that just kind of gets really messy. This is just kind of this buffet table that we have. It used to be our entertainment stand in our apartment, but we really like it. It's very minimal. We bought it from somebody who built it, and it's just really cute. But it definitely collects clutter, so I try to keep this kind of organized. The dining room is one of those rooms that once I tidy it up, it makes the whole house look cleaner, so I was very glad to get that done. After that, it was time to jump into the kids' rooms, and I had to spend like multiple days on the kids' rooms because it definitely took a lot of time, but this was me cleaning up the smaller of the two and just kind of getting the toys organized. I have toys in both rooms. Again, just kind of spaced out with what makes sense, but here I just kind of was organizing, getting all the toys out from behind the chairs and stuff like that, and just trying to kind of get things back where they belong so that I could deep clean them and organize this room.
Sometimes I understand I'm making all the wrong demands in life. It never pays in the end, but still I am here moving on.
Okay, so these actually get like pretty dirty just throughout the day. Like I think they just collect dust and stuff. I mean, I haven't cleaned these in a while, so they're kind of grimy. So I think I'm gonna wash all these downstairs with dish soap. I basically put all the toys into just a couple of buckets here. So I plan on just kind of dumping all the toys out later today and organizing them. I'll show you guys kind of my toy organization. So I have all these bins. I got these from Target. I think they came as like a pack of 3 or 4 with the lids for like $7 in different sizes. So there's like this size, which with the matching lids, and then there's the smaller size. And they actually come in bigger and smaller as well. I've gotten a few from Costco as well, but I will say I kind of like these better just because they all match, and it's like, I just think the lids stay on better. These ones have these kind of weird plastic things. They were cheaper, but they hold about the same as far as the big ones, but the lids don't stay on as well. So one downfall with those, but this is how I have all the toys organized. I try to make it to where, like, you know, the same type of toys are together. So these ones are kind of like educational toys, and I try to have them all together. There's also like seasonal, so like this has some like Easter stuff in it so that it's just all together when that time comes. Everything is in here, and it definitely needs to be like reorganized, but for now, like the toys in the rooms have gotten pretty bad, so I'm going to kind of take everything and clean it up and sanitize all the toys and reorganize them.
I never never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least
There's like a thick layer of sand all over this because my kids have been loving the sandbox lately, and so especially my baby, who still has her diaper changed multiple times a day, she and my toddler will dump sand all over each other, and then it's like in their diapers. This whole table is like completely covered in sand, so it's gonna need a vacuum and a good wipe down, and honestly, like the floor is gonna need it too.
the time I got, it is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough to get by. Sometimes I understand I'm making all the wrong demands in life. It never pays in the end, but still I am here, moving on like before. I'm yearning to reach the shore. Now I know what it means to grow.
This room gets really dirty, especially where the changing table is, because the baby likes to, grab the wall and put her hands all over it. So does my toddler. So I took the time to kind of wipe down the shiplap and just make sure it was cleaner. I restocked the diapers. This is so satisfying to come into when this room is all clean and organized. I also think it's important to keep this area clean. Obviously, I'm changing diapers, but because the baby sleeps in here and everything, I try to keep it clean so that, avoid germs and sickness. I swept under the bed. I actually pulled the crib out and mopped behind there as well. The crib slats actually get so dirty, so I took the time to wipe those down as well. I do this like once a quarter and put fresh sheets on the bed, and this just looked so nice when it was all done.
Okay, so it still looks a little chaotic, but I do have all of the toys basically in these little bins. I've got some more in the other room as well, but I kind of tried to sort by like what the toys were. So you see like all the figurines are in this one. This one's like all wood. This one's like car stuff, kitchen stuff, little baby toys, which these I'll probably put away pretty soon. I've got like more figurines up here. I've got all the puzzles together. So it's a little bit more organized. Still a little bit chaotic, but definitely better than it was.
Daniel and I were just hanging out in the kitchen. He was working, and I think the kids were down for a nap, so we decided just to quickly jump in and do the pantry. And I was definitely putting this off because it's so overwhelming, but he was keeping me company and helped pass the time a little faster. So I just started by emptying everything out. I always find this is the easiest thing to do, is just get the entire cabinet completely emptied so I can put stuff back in and just kind of see the space that I have. I restocked all of the snacks. I notice when I'm kind of at this point with our groceries where I have like a good variety, but I'm not completely stocked with like brand new full boxes of things, that it's much easier to organize because I'm not like overflowing with stuff. So I have just a variety of snacks. I restocked, some of our staples like this I filled with almond flour. I restocked our all-purpose flour, things like that, and just tried to make sure that everything was accessible and not just in giant bags that I couldn't use. I also combined a lot of things. So I had multiple bags of gluten-free almond flour, so I put those together in this big jar so that it was just all together and accessible. Okay, here comes another super satisfying bit. So this was the bottom of the pantry, and this gets so dirty just because it's obviously there's a slat in the door. So, any dirt and, hair and stuff that's you know, on the floor in the kitchen gets kind of swept into this section. So I took the time just to move everything out, vacuum, sweep, mop. I even had to get on my hands and knees and kind of scrub this one section where I think like some juice or something had spilled. It was just honestly really gross, but I cleaned it all really well and made sure it was all dry before I put anything back, and it was so nice and satisfying having that all clean. And then I just kind of replaced the bottom with all of our big staples, so potatoes, big bags of flour, etc. And then I did something new with the cans. I put all the cans on one shelf, and I feel like that looked really nice. Okay, this looks so much better, so I'll quickly walk you guys through how I organized this time, because I did things a tiny bit differently than normal. Is anybody else weird about stuff like this? Like, I don't know if this is like the former retail associate in me or what, but I just like when things are like facing forward, so, and not upside down. So I'm just gonna fix those real quick. But starting at the top, I keep kind of all the baking stuff in kind of a few different places. So I have like extra like turbinado sugar, or I think that's what it's called, turbinado sugar. I've got like coconut sugar. I've got like extra bags of that. So I've got like in here some like gluten and egg replacements, like xanthan gum, egg replacer, stuff like that. And then over here I've got some like shredded coconut. I think my sister gave me this bag, so it's not even open yet. And then I've got like cornstarch. So it's kind of like baking things like that. Then over here I have some coconut flakes. If there's anything behind it other than extra quinoa, I've got like 2 things of quinoa, which we don't eat a lot of. I need to start like meal prepping quinoa and just like eating it, because I think I just don't make it enough to like have a taste for it, you know? So, but it's basically just like rice. Like I'm not a texture person where I like care that much about the texture difference. It's just like I never think to make it. I always make rice instead. I've got extra flour, this is just all purpose, and then 2 things of rice. I didn't really have to use that container for rice. I just wanted to get rid of the bag and not have a bag. I'd rather have it in airtight container, so I did that. This is almond flour, which again, I have like my big all-purpose flour up here. So I did this one as almond flour that I can use for like baking and stuff. I've got some coconut oil, sugar, powdered sugar, my matcha, which I don't do a ton of matcha, but when I do, like I have it ready to go. I've got honey and agave. And then over here, I've got a big bag of brown sugar, but like it's better in the bag than it is in these, because it just seems to dry out more when it's in one of these. So I got some marshmallows for s'mores. Over here, I've got the kids' snacks, which I was trying to figure out like a good way to hide these, because like if they can see them, all they want to do is eat snacks. But I tried to just kind of have it all together and kind of tucked away, but also accessible to where I can just grab these and go. I actually literally have to hide the applesauces somewhere else, because otherwise they will just go and grab the applesauces, especially Zoe. And it's hard to say no to her because she's a baby and she doesn't understand. So I do need to get more oats. I have some like quick oats, but these are just like normal, you know, like traditional rolled oats. So I need to get more of those. I've got my granola, some Kashi cereal. This could also honestly be granola, so maybe I'll just combine those at some point. And then our kind of proteins and supplements. Then down here I have like nuts and craisins, things like that, medjool dates. And then these are like noodles and like taco shells, lentils, things like that. I kind of keep these all together because they're all in kind of the same category, so I know if I'm looking for like pasta or again like tortillas, anything like that, it's all together. And then I have different vinegars, and then like a few baked good things that I don't use super often, but I have like cornbread, Bisquick, and then some like rice, and just, you know, having some kind of staples just on the chance that I don't feel like cooking. And then down here I moved all of the cans up here, just because I had so many. I don't normally have this much canned goods, but I realized it was taking up a lot of space over here, so I just decided to move everything to one place and have this whole section be canned goods. So I think that looks really good, and I have like just a variety of different things. There's no like real rhyme or reason. I didn't like organize them super well, but again, there's not enough to where I can't just kind of look through if I need something. I've got some broth, and then down here is where I have like the extra flour, potatoes. I've got some canned coconut milk, which like, again, I don't use super often, so if I need it, I'll just like get into that box. And then I've got some like ice cream cones that are like random from a party or something that we just need to use up, and then some bonza pasta and some onions. But I feel like that looks really good. And then over here, I kept everything basically the same, which isn't like crazy organized, but it works for us and it's not like too much, you know? I kind of just have things where I can see them, so they're not really in any like particular order. I do kind of have all the spices together for the most part, and I am trying to use up things like this. Like there's like a tiny bit of honey in here, so like I'm gonna put this over here so that I like remember to use it. I have like sunflower seeds, so I'm gonna combine these.
But like other than that, it's kind of just like random like spices and herbs and cacao nibs, stuff like that. So it's kind of like I just have what I need when I need it. So I don't have like a major way of organizing that. This time I'm just gonna kind of leave it as is, and I think it's good enough. But overall, very, very happy with how this looks. It's crazy to me how sometimes my pantry, I'm like, we have so much food, like why are we like not feel like we have any food? And then I organize things and I'm like, okay, that's why, because it actually like looks so minimal now that I like put everything away. I feel like I have like a lot of baking staples, but honestly, like these are all of the snacks that we have that are like snacks. So everything else is like, okay, this is literally like plain ramen noodles with no seasoning, you know, plain tortillas. These are just like dry, unsalted peanuts. Obviously still food, you know, but it's just kind of funny. Like when you start looking, you're like, oh, there is space. You just need to organize it. So overall, I'm very happy with that. That was a big item on my checklist, and honestly, it was very overwhelming. So I'm very glad to have that done. Oof, it's rough in here. Okay.
This bathroom gets so messy so quickly. I am definitely notorious for not putting things away in here. If there's one room I could change in our house, it would probably be this one. I would probably remodel our bathroom because one, none of the like elements in here, the cabinets, the countertops, none of it is what I would pick. A lot of it was based with like what the house came with. It's got like a weird tile in here that they picked, and it's also a galley bathroom, which is just really kind of annoying, the same way that like a galley kitchen is kind of annoying. It's like the same concept with a galley bathroom. There's just not a lot of space. Everything's really you're kind of on top of each other in here. So I would definitely like, you know, open up this space if I could, but I'm first just kind of taking the time to put everything away that was on the counters and put it back where it belongs, which honestly doesn't take that long once I do it. I wish I would just do it when like I'm using stuff, but I often will just leave it and, you know, do it when I go to deep clean the bathroom. So first I took everything off and put stuff away, and then I just sanitized and wiped down the countertops really well. I've been using the Grove Collaborative multi-purpose cleaner for most of my cleaning. I have the tile cleaner too, but I honestly don't notice a big difference between the two of them. So I use the multi-purpose cleaner for pretty much everything. And I also did the mirror. It's a really big all one mirror in here that takes a while to clean. And then I put everything back on the counter once it was all done. Then I jumped into the tub, and this was pretty bad. Honestly, this was very satisfying. I first got everything out of the tub, and then I realized the drain was clogged. And so I used a little drain tool thing and pulled out this giant hairball, which was so gross, but honestly very satisfying. And it was so nice that the drain worked after this and was so much better. That's all me, by the way. Like, my kids don't really use this tub, so that's all my hair. And then I went in with some scrubbing bubbles, but honestly this didn't work very good. I then went back in with Dawn dish soap and some baking soda, and that worked way better for cleaning and getting the white of the tub back to where it should be. I also used this tool that I got on Amazon, and it works really good. I did actually break it because I was pushing too hard, so Daniel had to fix it for me. I kind of like jammed the motor, but this works so good for cleaning this tub because this is a very big tub to clean, and it's annoying because it has these jets that don't even work, so I can't even like use the jets, but they get very dirty, and this brush does a really good job of cleaning those out and just getting all the scum out of those. And once I was done with that, I went back in with baking soda and some dish soap. The other thing that's kind of annoying about this tub is I don't have a like removable shower head to spray everything down. It's a rainfall shower, so I have to just use a cup and basically rinse everything. So this room just is kind of really hard for me to clean. I have to do it when I have like the time to fully do it. So this was during the kids' nap time, and I just went to town, got it very, very clean, and it felt so much better once it was done, and you know, it was back to where it should be, but definitely took some time and some elbow grease. The last thing I had time to do for this video was doing the toilet, and I just got that very clean. And again, this room is kind of small, so it doesn't take me super long, but it does get pretty dirty in here, so I took my time just trying to make sure it was really, really clean and sanitized.
So I got a ton of cleaning done. I am definitely exhausted, but I feel so good now that I got like a lot of stuff done. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell. It really helps me know what kind of videos you guys like, and make sure you don't miss another video. So make sure you're subscribed, and if you click the notification bell, you'll get notified every time I make a new video so you never miss an upload. I so appreciate your guys' support, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.